So this video is content that I pulled out of my other video with the grenades only run, where I try and go through the Freehold Settlers quest to become a FreeStar Ranger. Anyway, so here's us going through that run. If you're curious how we got to this point and some other stuff that happened in the run, feel free to watch the other video, but in this video it's just strictly focused on the FreeStar Rangers quest line. So we pick up this quest right after we had completed the bank robbery in the main quest, and Emma says you need to complete a mission on the mission board, which I'm more than happy to do, and then she'll give us a shot. I probably ended up doing a space mission or was just grinding out more grenade points to level up that challenge. So now the quest takes us over to Michaela, who is someone has trying to drive her off of her farm and made an insulting offer to buy it. And our job is to track them down. Along the way, we find our smattering of landmines, which I try to steal, and I didn't know you could do that, but apparently you can just pick them back up off the ground and kill some bugs with said landmines. Overall, it went pretty good. I think I exploded myself once here, but that's better than normal. You'd think for someone who's throwing landmines at people in close combat and that I'd save more, and you'd be wrong. After finally clearing this camp successfully, we find some clues on a data slate pointing us to a potential lead. And I think next stop is to bring that info to Ron Hope, who made the ship.
That was a lot rougher than I expected.
At this point in the game, with the monsters being pretty low level, this was a pretty easy quest to get through with explosives without hurting myself too bad. Only a couple reloads to get my way through here. We fly back and let the farmer know what is going on, and so she could, maybe not sleep better, but sleep with a gun under her pillow, and is prepared for any more people attempting to run her off her land. Following up on the lead, we end up on the way to Ron Hope to tell him his ship was stolen. We run into a ranger in distress who needs some help putting her ship back together. And, after we put her ship back together for her and give her a helping hand, like any good FreeStar Ranger would, she agrees to introduce us to Ron Hope. First, we need to make a pit stop at the Ruffians or Crimson Fleet or whoever that put her in this state in the first place and blow them up. The respec chip with missiles only is with these low level level 5 and level 4, even level sometimes 10 if there's just one ships, is still putting in work and doing okay. That's an easy cleanup mission, and we can move on to meeting Ron. So for this, we're just having a conversation with Ron, and he's going over about how great he is and how he founded this town and that the town wouldn't survive without him, and he's really doing a high pressure, please don't make any waves. Yes, it was my ship. I hid that it was stolen because I didn't want to damage my company's reputation. Overall, it's a little suspicious and a little weird, but I guess we'll see where we end up with this. Ron ends up pointing us in the direction of another FreeStar Ranger who happens to have potentially a lead on where the ship was and who potentially paid to have it stolen. So we meet up with Jalen, and again, he has a very big "please don't make waves" funny with a person who throws grenades around for fun and for profit, so it'll be fine. So, the person that ends up having the information we need is good old Billy here. And Billy is being harassed by a mob, some moneylender. Anyway, I think I have the perfect solution to this, and we're gonna make this problem for Billy go away so we can get our tip. Here we are at the syndicate base, where I think I made the conversation check. You can either do that or bribe the guy, and we just meet the mob boss and, politely inform him. Oh, well, yep. That's all it. I think we're good here. That should hopefully clear the debt. We can move forward. With Billy's debt permanently solved, he's more than happy to tell us about a smuggler, ship thief that had stolen the ship and given it over to the pirates.
What are you looking at?
Now we meet up with our good old-fashioned ship smuggler. And she ends up giving us the first real clue on what's going on. She's got a encrypted data slate that hopefully will have some information on what's going on that we can track down the root cause of all these farmers' problems. Now we meet up with Alex, the de facto hacking expert, so he can start going through the slates and hopefully come up with an answer. And we need three slates. Of course we do. Can never be easy, can it?
Let's talk for a minute. Well, glad you got a chance. Sounds like you're making.
Now, between Blake and the smuggler, we ended up getting clues on two other people who potentially are involved in whatever the hell's going on. So now we've got two more leads. One's a medical ship, and the other, I believe, is Marco, who was part of the First Legion, who was involved in one of the wars that Daniel was also involved with.
Around the time, based on what you, Ranger Autumn McMillan, just your priority is to get. Just remember that. In other words, good hunting, deputy.
First up, I decided to tackle the medical one. I figured this one would be super easy and I could blitz through it super quick. Ari here does a good job of helping us out, points us in a few directions on who it could possibly be within this space station. So we have to check on some other patients, a few wild goose chases, but eventually we find out that the person is probably in the VIP wing, which we can't get into, obviously. I tried talking to the doctor, but that's a no-go. He doesn't like me very much, so it's off for some mild thievery. And at this point, I come to the horrible realization that in a overzealous effort to level up my money skill, whatever it is. Lowers the shop prices where you have to buy and sell items. I have sold all my digipens, so I cannot. And then you randomly throw a grenade. And I can't open the safe, which has the key. So back to the doctor, who doesn't like me very much, and I've got to talk him up and convince me that I'm fine and I'm not randomly throwing grenades around, and let me in the VIP wing, please. Now we can disable the malware running on the hospital, and we get our second data slate out of the 3 that Ari needs to decrypt, hopefully. Something, and so we can get some info, figure out what the hell's going on. Oh wait, no, that wasn't the data slate. The lady with the data slate ran away, but gave a clue as to where she was at, so we head to a asteroid thingamabobber, asteroid base, and try and find her and take her to justice, or, I ran around in this place for far too long. Oh, no digipens. I sure didn't buy any. And then panic searching this room, hoping I don't have to leave. Thank God there was a random digipen in here, so I didn't have to leave and waste some time. So that was nice. I died more than a few times in here. Mostly due to being stupid and running around, running past monsters, pulling them all, and then just dying because I didn't want to waste supplies. I don't have a ton right now because I didn't restock and I didn't want to do a whole bunch of missions to get more supplies. From the red on the map and the blindly charging up here, you can really see what I'm talking about with taking too much damage and dying. So I finally make it up to the lady here. She gets taken out in some crossfire, and she says she's dying, and I thought, yeah, sure, I'll let you go. You can live out the rest of your time in this cave. And then I accidentally kill her with a landmine. Now we've got our next hunk of data slate for Ari here to do his magic on. Just a quick drop off, and then we're out of here.
Wait a minute. Judging.
The next person we need to find out, Marco, ends up being only known where he's at by a person, Mel Divine, I believe. Anyway, she runs a contest called the Red Mile, where you have to run through a gauntlet of monsters, hit a button and run back and not die, and then you get a sash or something. And apparently she has got trouble getting people to do this suicide run, and that's where we come in. We get to do a little suicide run and make it out alive, hopefully. And then she agrees to tell us where Marco is. I had really high hopes that I was going to be able to run in here, landmines blazing, and wipe these guys out, gain some experience, be cool, and that didn't happen at all. These things can eat up the damage, and eventually I just start running because I don't want to waste my whopping 8 grenades and a couple landmines, and I just try and get through this part with the least amount of mental anguish and waste of money and grenades as I can. From all the wonderful red dots, you can see how this is going. I took a lot of damage. I wasted some grenades and landmines, but it ended up being just a ton of running. Just didn't feel worth my time and effort to kill these guys.
Excuse me. Things are going smooth.
With our Red Mile run completed, with tons of cowardice and ton of running, May agrees to tell us where Marco is. In hindsight, I guess I could have done this mission with talking to Marco with landmines and talked to him with explosions, but I ended up just talking him down. Also, in case anyone's curious, no, you can't steal a ship. It counts as part of the planet, so even if you do kill everyone on the ship, you can't take off with it, which is really disappointing because it's a pretty neato ship, and I wanted it, and I couldn't get it. Oh yeah, data slate. Yeah. We agree not to take him in, and he gives us the data slate. So now that is 3 of 3 data slates, till we can head back to Ari and see what he's got in store for us. Midway through our performance evaluation this far in our Marshal FreeStar Ranger job interview, whatever, Ari comes in and says he's cracked the data slates and gives us the clue of the factory. Yes, where they built some mechs, and he knows where it is, so we can head there and see what the hell is going on. During my first playthrough and my mining laser only playthrough, this was a tough area where I died a lot and it was a struggle. I came here undersupplied. But this time I managed to, remember, hey, if you're going to kill people with grenades and landmines, maybe bring some. Also, buy some healing potions. Those help. So hopefully this will go better. So I run through the door and not even thinking anything about it, and then I see a guy follows me through, and then another guy, and then another guy, and then another guy, and that's a good time right there. This is the first kind of major area with a ton of monsters in it. Whatever. First soldiers, whatever these guys are. Anyway, ton of guys to explode, or you can just run through. I tried at this point to, I always think, okay, I'm going to kill all these enemies. I'm going to get through this by killing as many as possible. And I did a decent job in here before. I just couldn't find the blips on my radar anymore, and I gave up and moved on to the next zone. And then we get ourselves some more good old-fashioned door shenanigans with some landmines and some guys exploding, and yeah, good times. Good use of landmines. Run through a door, everybody follows you, and you just huck, a generous amount of landmines for them. This is the third main area with a bunch of guys in it. Mostly I just run through here, blowing up people when I can. Mostly just trying to get to the end fight where I've struggled before with as many supplies as I could. With a generous amount of explosions, running, more explosions, mostly landmines. I finally bash my way through and get to the Paxton Hall guy, who's the leader of these first soldiers, first cavalry dudes. And I ended up taking him out really quick. I don't think I actually remembered to record before this point, because I was expecting to die like a million times like I normally do, but went through it super easy. Paxton here had a lot to say about how he was betrayed and all of that stuff. I've never been super interested in what he had to say. And he refuses to come in and face justice or FreeStar Ranger justice or anything. So we get an agreement that implicates Ron Hope, and then we explode him. Oh, Ron. Here we are again. So, Ron found some fertilizer that he was marketing, destroyed croplands, and made it easier to mine. So he was attempting to get farmland cheap to, make a profit. And he ended up giving away a ton of fertilizer to a bunch of farmers and ruined their lives, and was attempting to muscle them out. And he is a big important guy. He's a governor. He's on the council of governors, and he doesn't really want to make amends. I mean, you can, kind of do this peacefully, but I don't like Ron. So, yep, here we are. Ron goes down pretty quickly. One of the NPCs runs off, but it's not a big deal, and that finishes up the quest. For tossing a grenade at one of the Council of Governors and then tossing some more grenades at all of his chiefs of staff except for one, I was expecting there to be more of a, game impact. You hear it a few times, I think, on the radio, and a few NPCs mention it, but mostly no one seems to really care. You could have just been making all this up. Yeah. Yeah. With that last part of the quest done, that completes the FreeStar Ranger kind of quest line and gets us some pretty cool rewards. We get, a costume, spacesuit, boost pack, and best of all, a free ship that has rank 4 Starship design, Class A components on it. It'll easily take you through the first playthrough, and you can. It's a great base to customize, and really, I like that ship a lot, especially because it's free. So yeah, you can beat this quest more easily than I was expecting with just explosives. Honestly, it was much easier than the mining laser only, which I wasn't expecting. Yep, thanks for watching, and hopefully I'll see you on the next video. And to close it out, here's a nice montage of me using some mods to buy a bunch of grenades. Thanks.
Take your time. Absolutely. Take your time.